Buzz's Retirement Garage, the month that the budget gets blown. If you're a first-time viewer of this type of video that I do every end of the month, me and Mrs. Buzz get 2 Social Security checks totaling $38.76, and from there we try to keep what's called our operational expenses, food, clothing, roof over our head, electric, gas, all that, within the budget of those 2 checks. How are we doing? For this end of this year, or so far through November, we're at minus 402. So if you remember what we were last month, you'll see why we're at minus 402. Maybe ones from last month that we're watching, you can do the math. I do have a couple totals covered up, so bear with me while we go through this. So for November, 462 is the property taxes, and that's going to come down in January, although I haven't seen the numbers yet. It's going to go down because we got our homestead reduction finalized, so that will come down. Just not sure exactly how much yet, so we'll see what happens there. House insurance 71, water 26, natural gas 119, electricity 67. So as electricity comes down, gas goes up. We live in Cleveland. We pay by the month. We're not on a budget, so those numbers do vary. Universal Life 209, auto insurance 32 bucks a month. It has gone down from 51. Why? One, State Farm has reduced the insurance cost for us. I heard other places have done the same, but for us in a suburb of Cleveland, they dropped it. Plus, I'm using that Drive-In Safe little gizmo, and I get a reduction because of that. Decent reduction. I'm going to keep it. So December through, I think, June, I'm going to be paying $32 a month, so that was a nice little reduction. I like that. $370 for Medicare, of course. Come January, that's going to go up. We all know that. And Plan N Cigna, we are at $172. My wife got her increase, which is about 12%. I got my increase, which was about 12%. I'm not reflecting that because that doesn't start till January. So in January, it's another, I was at 92 and it went up to like 103. So we're going to add a little bit more to this number come January. So we're going to have some reductions, some increases, and then by next month we'll have it all figured out in December and figure out where we're at. And we'll also next month look at, Miss Vicky is helping me track this on an Excel sheet, so she keeps me in line in case I make any mistakes or any errors, and it's always good to have 2 eyes watching, 2 additional eyes watching. So I appreciate her help, and at the end of the month we will look at an average for the year of what I've been spending. So Plan N 184, Plan D WellCare, our Plan D drug plan through WellCare was 0 this year and last year. Come 2026, we're both going to be charged $7.60, so we're going to have to throw an extra $15 a month into that category. Dental 91, Amazon we're not going to talk about just yet. We'll do that at the end. Cable 140, T-Mobile Internet 35 bucks. UMA Homeline, yes, we still have that, 18 bucks. 2 cell phones, one with Mint Mobile, one's a track phone, $27 a month. And gas for car this month was $26. Now, restaurants were $198. Groceries were $9.25. So I looked at the groceries over the course of the year, up through November, so 11 months. The average was $823 a month. So we had some highs, some lows. The average is $823. How does that stack up to you? Remember, we're only feeding 2 basically. Yeah, people come over and we have, guests and different holiday things going on and all that, but for the most part, it's just me and Mrs. Buzz. Paper and plastics, $18. Home products, $66. Pet products, $165. Now, the reason that's high is because if you watched my Sam's Club video, the pate, 60 cans of cat food, pate, had $8 off for 60 cans. So I bought 3 cases of that. So we have 180 cans sitting around. That's probably going to last us 6 months. which is good. So I won't have to buy that for a long time. When the snow stops and the sun's peeking out and it starts warming up is when I'll be buying it again, and that'll be kind of nice. So pet products was $165. Entertainment was $30. The Buckeyes and Michigan game, I bought squares through the animal shelter, and I didn't win, but the Ohio State Buckeyes did win and beat Michigan, so that was nice. That was very good Saturday for us. Miscellaneous was $274. Now miscellaneous included River Roots Barrel Company. I bought something. Smoke and Oak, when I went to the Christmas Connection, which you can see that video if you're curious. I showed a bunch of booths that were there that were really cool. And so I did the Smoke and Oak. I did Minus G. It's a company called Minus G. We bought some stuff from there. Minus gluten, that is. And we got pierogies and some cinnamon rolls that were gluten-free. Bought miscellaneous stuff like that. So miscellaneous $274 versus $479 and $151, $479, now $274. So again, there was a couple gifts in there, a couple home things for the home, but I just included that in miscellaneous. So now, in Mrs. Buzz's defense, if you're a longtime subscriber, you know she does her shopping. Most of her shopping, she'll wait until the end of the year. So she writes down all these different things during the course of the year that she may want. She'll look at pricing here, there, and everywhere. Find out what's the best deals. Okay, so she gave me a list of what she spent, and we have that up here. And she just wanted me to tell you before she gets put in the electric chair, right? She got Christmas gifts for 12 people, and she got gifts for pets for 6 different households, which totals 27 pets. We're big on pets, you know, that's why I volunteer at the animal shelter. We're big on pets. We've fostered animals before, and we still do that. So household and supplements, well, that was $777. Birthday gifts and anniversary gifts, she bought 4. That's $350. Food, spices, coffee, and different items was $400. Travel purse, wallet, accessories. She hasn't had a new purse in 6 years, so she got herself one. That was only $90. New and used books that she likes to get, including a gluten-free sardine recipe book, if you guys know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. So basically the total, and we got charged our subscription, so I just threw that into Amazon because it was the subscription for Amazon Prime. And that went up to $150, so we paid $150 for that. So the total, $23.69 for Amazon. $2,369. Our grand total, if I don't screw this up, is we were down, so taking the $38.76 gross that we have, taking all of our bills, we were down $2,046 for this month. Now, if you remember, I've been talking about every month during the year, we're kind of saving up for Christmas because we know we're going to be spending money on different things. So that's the number. And we still have a month left. Now, if I can pick up a $694 or $286 or somewhere in between, we could pretty much balance out the year with our operational costs. So our checks, Social Security checks, will equal our expenditures for the year, which is nice. Now, there's not going to be anything left over, more than likely. And we've also spent, as most of you know, we've spent about $11,000, $12,000 on things that had to be done in the house. So that's, if you want to call it emergency fund, if you want to call that a special fund for doing stuff around the house, my steps, the electric, the water heater, and all that good stuff. That was almost 12 grand. So yes, we did take 12,000 out of the bank account, so to speak, but for operational expenses versus income, we're probably going to come pretty close. We'll find out next month. but pretty close to breaking even. We might be down a couple $100. Now, remember in 2024, we were down $900 on operational expenses. So we've learned a little bit. We've saved a little bit on phone, on internet, wherever we can see a little bit of a savings without going without. You know what I mean? We worked hard 40 years to get what we want. And we're not just going to give up stuff because we have to save a penny. You know, what do I got? 10 years left to live? I want to live. You know, I don't want to cut my expenses down to where, you know, I'm looking at every single penny that's being spent. But for you that have not retired yet, you need to do this. I'm telling you, you need to be tracking your expenses. And I've said this before, if you go to buy a pack of gum or a coffee somewhere, you need to write it down. Because those kind of expenses, where you're just nickel and dime here and there, can add up to hundreds of dollars in the course of a month. You may not realize that until you do something like this. So be honest with yourself. Itemize the things, write them down, put them on a sheet, Excel sheet, put them on a whiteboard, whatever works for you, and make sure you're doing that and tracking where you're at. I think, especially before retirement, do it for 6 months to a year and see where you're at. And, you know, that'll help you determine when you can retire based on this and your debt. So, anyway, not too bad. I mean, considering, not too bad. We'll do this again in December. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. And for all you new subscribers, I thank you for being here. And thank you, Ohio State Buckeyes, for making my Saturday and making my year. Bye-bye.